Bonjour et bienvenue dans la Performance Racing League, course numéro 5 de la saison 10. Il s'agit de la manche de le milieu de semaine et je suis très enthousiaste à l'idée de cette manche car elle s'accompagne d'ensemble de règles particulières. And I'm just kidding. I'm not doing this in French, and I've read this out. I actually don't speak any, so I hope it sounded a little bit believable, and any French people in here won't butcher me. Welcome to Performance Racing League. This is the midweek tier, season 10, race number 5. For those who didn't understand what I just said, because I butchered it, welcome, welcome. I'm actually really excited about this one, as it encompasses a particular set of rules, which is that we need to use all dry compounds. That is the hard, the medium, and the soft tire. I do not recall whether it's the C5. I don't believe it is the C5 for the soft around here, but that shouldn't matter too much. I'm just going to do a quick audio check here on the stream. Excuse me. Yeah, we're looking to be pretty good. No co-commentators today, so you'll have to deal with me. And why don't we start off by looking what our gracious host Vinny Sips is doing? Nothing much. So let's just configure. Whoops. It has been a while that I've done this, so please excuse any sort of hiccups on my side here in the first few minutes. Looks like the first car on track is an Alpha Tauri. So we're gonna hop on board with said person, and that should be spot up. Household name in PRL at this point. I believe joined a couple of seasons ago. Has been quite successful. No championships yet, but I'm sure there's one to come at some point. Consistent driver. Very curious what people will show here around France. Not a fan favorite track, so a lot of people avoid it, don't practice it very much, and then just kind of try to cram it in when there's a race upon them. Okay, we're on board with spot up. Turn 1 quite conservative. A lot of braking there. Losing the rear in turn 2, but saved it. Is still going for it. Not enough to abort the lap, and this is quite definitely an invalidation. That curb, very, very easy to invalidate. I've done it many, many times, but it's early on, and they can try again. So the second in line here is Disgruntled Muppet. Is also on a hot lap, has not invalidated yet. First fastest sector 1, which makes sense. Obviously flat out on the first part of the back straight here. If it wasn't for the chicane, it would probably be the longest straight in the game. I'm not sure. Yeah, quite clean through the chicane. Nicely done. Goes all the way down to second. Not much to say about this part, but here comes the dreaded right-hander. There's many, many valuable lines through this corner, but being fast through here is quite challenging. Disgruntled does a very nice job through all of these. Hits the apex. Everywhere. A little bit wide here, small correction. All the way down to first gear to get that rotation in. And now a straight shot to the line. And we have our first time of the day as a 1:31.6. Now, as this is the midweek tier, we're gonna see times all over the board, as low as possibly high 28. We'll see. We'll see what people can do today. Northern Canuck tops it 1.5 seconds faster at 1:30.2. Very nice, and they call me Dr. J. 1:31.1. Now let's find someone who's just started their lap. I believe it's Alan J. I don't recognize the name. However, I have not been too active in the last 3 weeks, so apologize if this is not your first time. This is not your first rodeo in this division. Nevertheless, welcome, welcome. Very clean through sector 1. Early on the throttle. Tremendous exit, actually. Provisional pole at the moment goes to Definite Beast. I believe that is Pax. Just displaying the name differently for some reason, or we've had that issue last time as well. Quite conservative through the chicane for Alan. May have left a bit of speed on the table there. Normally I like to switch between drivers, but today we're going to do qualifying a bit differently. I'm going to try to stick with drivers for the whole lap if possible, unless of course it's aborted or invalidated, etc. As I find it's just more enjoyable to watch on the replay, to see you know, how it gives a bit of cohesion to the session. Sometimes it can be quite confusing when you switch around. Let's see what Alan can do here. It must be, yeah, still in the 130. So 130.6, not bad. A P5 for now out of 11 times. Surely a good banker lap. I believe there's a Mercedes. Yeah, gourd sauce just across the line. 129.5. So beats the provisional pole by 5/10. Who's our next driver? I believe Spot. No, they're just on a cool down here. Dutch. McLaren. And we have an Alpine. Looks like DRS Maestro is attempting another hot lap. They may have aborted their first try. Yes, we're gonna see a hot lap here. So let's stay on board with DRS Maestro. Carries good speed through turn 1 and very solid on the exit of turn 2. Very easy to lose the car over those curbs. Yeah, takes a nice amount of that one. Keeps it tight. Very good. So a little bit of wide here, but very good effort. And it's already back on the full throttle. Goes a bit wide, but that shouldn't have left too much on the table. It's more important to get really as much speed through here as possible. I'm curious to see in the race how the wing situation is between the drivers. A lot of people are tempted to run really low wings around here, which is understandable, but also leads to really tough to manage tire wear over the long race distance of 27 laps. More downforce actually leads to better race pace. Okay, so the Sector 3 a bit problematic for DRS Maestro. Failed to reach those couple apexes there and decides to abort the lap. Sensible. Many new names that I have not seen before. I believe that Echo Alex is someone who's been really quick the last couple races. On pace with the championship leader Gord Sauce as well as GK Base, who's in here visiting from Tier 1. Doing a bit of tire warm-up. Looks like they're both going to start their timed laps soon. So you may want to get a look at that. Disgruntled, I believe, starting their second lap. We've been on board with them earlier, so we're going to give another person the chance. And Vinny Sips going back into the pits. Yeah, so let's go with Mr. GK Base. I believe they're trying to practice driving without ABS. Probably his last assist. Let's see what Base can do. Whoa. Oh, hey, Gord. I think you're on the wrong account, but welcome. Okay, very quick through turns 1 and 2. Extremely stable on the exit. I guess setup's pretty dialed in here. Goes, yep, hits the curb very nicely. Amazing. Yeah, early on the throttle. Lets the car go wide to carry that speed. Flat out. Looks like Echo Alex behind is trying to get a bit of a cheeky toe. See how that... Oh, and there has been an invalidation for base, which I did not notice. So let's hop on board with Echo here. Yeah, Shirley is getting a nice toe. Fastest Sector 2, according to the game. We know how much that's worth. But the closeness to base here may also hamper him in Sector 3 now. Get a bit too much of the dirty air. So the toe may just cancel itself out. If you can keep it on here. And base is finishing the lap, so I'm wondering if there was a glitch in my UI or something. As he seems confident that he can put a lap in here. No time for him. Maybe he didn't notice. So Echo Alex with a 29.8 goes up to provisional front row, second behind Gord Sauce for now. And yeah, base will have to put in another lap. We have one driver who has not set a time yet. Matus63, welcome. Haven't seen the name before either. Apologies if I simply did not keep updated. Struggling a lot through these corners. Oh, whoa. And that's the end of the session, I'm afraid, for Matus. Not successful. I'm wondering what happened there. It almost looked like they had some sort of control input issue. I'm not sure what happened. While drivers get ready for the second and third runs. We'll see, we're gonna pick somebody. Villeneuve is on their out lap. So actually pretty much at the beginning, and I believe there's a Williams starting their lap, and that's Baba Yaga who just rejoined. Oh, and well, that is just terrible. Wow, well, I really hope for Baba Yaga that he can restart that lap. Yeah, it's very important that when you're coming out of the pits to pay attention, so to not interrupt another driver's hot lap. I'm actually going to note this down. Believe it was this driver here. It may be useful later in case of an incident report. But Baba Yaga should have enough fuel on board. There's still another 5 minutes, so even if they need to refuel, no harm done. Honest mistake. Hopefully you can get another lap in. It's obviously distracting though. Somebody else. Salad Tosser invalidated, unfortunately. So we're gonna have Baba Yaga reattempting the lap, I'm sure. And we just have a Villeneuve, as we said before, starting their lap, so let's follow them. Highly aggressive over that curb on turn 1 and 2. Car can easily bottom out there, so that may cost some time. Okay. Game is saying that was the fastest Sector 1. I will doubt that. Without trying to be mean. It looked a little slow through those corners. Enough here. Oh, gets away with it. That could have easily been an invalidation over that curb. And flat out on the back straight. Let's see how they attempt a fast right-hander here. Stays in 5th, down to 4th. Pretty acute angle here. So prefers to take the corner tight over the letting the car run wide. Just misses the apex a tiny bit here. And the last 2 corners also extremely difficult to nail this one, especially when trying to get a good entry into the ultimate corner. A good exit. Let's see what Villeneuve's time is going to amount to here. At 1:31.5, I believe just a 1/10 of an improvement. Now let's go back on board with Baba Yaga, who had their abort their lap earlier. Yeah, basically the opposite approach to Villeneuve here, but I prefer this one. Maybe ran a bit too wide. Unfortunately misses the apex here. That will cost him a lot. Probably at least 3-4 tenths. As Gortsauce improves on his provisional pole lap with a 129.3. Very nice. Oh, Baba Yaga just missing the turn a bit. That will have cost quite a bit. Let's see what they can qualify. At 133.0. An improvement, of course, because of the aborted lap, but it's so far only enough for 16th. I believe Echo Alex is on another lap. No, and aborts it. Northern Canuck is on another attempt here. Let's follow him. Currently in a very good P5. We'll try to put it up there. Who knows? Maybe front row is in the cards for Northern Canuck today. As it's getting quite busy in Sector 3, people lining up their last shot as this qualifying. Very nice through the intersection by Northern, extremely controlled. Did not look to me that left a lot of time on the table as Disgruntle gets disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. We've missed that. I'm not gonna switch over as we're not really going to see anything, but that will cost Disgruntle his very decent qualifying position. As I believe Hoop jumps all the way up to third. Very nice effort. 29.9. Villeneuve decides to retire from the session in the pits. Northern Canuck, let's see if he can bring it down into the 29s. Very nice, a 3/10 improvement all the way up to P4. Amazing effort from Northern Canuck, and there's a really, really good starting position. Now I'm wondering who can challenge Gord at the front. He's 5/10 up, so somebody's definitely put in the time. As GK Base goes for another lap. Gortsauce actually retired from the session in the pits. They wouldn't have enough time to put in another lap, but also extremely confident there. Wow, how that was not invalidation, I'm not quite sure. Extremely aggressive over the curb for GK Base. Braking and downshifting extremely late. Look at that rotation. Wow, absolute beauty. Absolutely nailing Sector 3 here. Very, very quick through the long right-hander. And just one more. I believe this has potential. This has a lot of potential to be on the front row or even the pole position. Let's see. Absolutely. 29.1. Base delivers in the last minute. Extremely impressive. And now we have Echo Alex here trying to join the fray at the front. Very high speed through the last corner. And this will most likely also be in the 29s. A big improvement all the way up to third. Pushing down Hoop and Northern Canuck. Alan J, that looks like an aborted lap. DRS Maestro. Ooh. Not a good place to slow down like this. Maybe they were out of fuel. DRS Maestro stays in 10th. And that's qualifying, folks. Apologies to those laps that I've missed. I just prefer staying on with drivers for the entire lap. That way we can see what's actually happening. Yeah, very competitive qualifying session. I believe the top 5 or 6 is in the 29s. The personal bests of some of the guys at the front may be in the high 28s, but that's obviously difficult to get to in a racing environment. So we have GK Base pole position, 29.1, and Gortsauce completing the front row with 29.3. Extremely good effort from these guys. Echo Alex third, 29.4. And we have Hoop with a 29.9, as well as Northern Canuck with a 29.9. Closing out the top 5 in the 29s. Amazing effort. Then we have Alan J in the Haas, Pax in the Ferrari, Spot Up in the AlphaTauri, Demur in the Red Bull, and DRS Maestro in the Alpine, completing the top 10. And then a little bit of a bigger gap after this as well to Vinny Sips, roughly half a second behind in 11th. They call me Dr. J, Dutch, Villeneuve, Baba Yaga, Saltasser, and then Matus, who did not set a lap, and Disgruntled, who got disqualified. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. It's extremely believable to me that it wasn't their fault. It was just some sort of game glitch. We know how it can go. Am I right? I'm going to take a little break here. I'll be back in just a few seconds. Alright, I am back. Luckily the race has not started without me. Excuse the feedback there. Why don't we quickly go over the standings if we still have time. So Gortsauce here with a huge lead, 197 points, 78 points ahead of P2, which is Hoop. And we have Spot Up Triples in third, Northern Canuck in fourth, Ace Edge, who is not here today, I believe, in fifth. Villeneuve in sixth, Disgruntled Muppet in seventh, Echo Alex, who just joined and looks like they won their first race right away, so already in eighth, very nice job. Then we have Lords and Rap, or Pax, or whichever name you like, in ninth. DRS Maestro rounds up the top 10. Dr. J in 11th, Vinny Sips in 12th, Salad Tosser in 13th, Baba Yaga in 14th, Dutch in 15th, Sparkplug in 16th, Donalan in 17th, and Ada, who I'm not sure I've seen yet, in 18th. Alright, here we go. 5 lights. And away we go. Very good start by Gortsauce. Overtakes GK Base, who is on the hard tire. Gonna look at tires right after this. Echo Alex opted to go for the soft, so interesting tire strategies at the front. We have a Haas going wide, losing some positions, but to no detriment so far. Oh, and there is a collision between a Haas and a Red Bull, I believe. Looks like whoever was in the behind did not quite expect the early braking point, but it is quite common that people brake earlier on the first lap, so that's something to be aware of. I have Matus, Saltosser, and Baba Yaga in the back of the field here. We already have a bit of a gap actually between the top 7 and the rest of the field. As Disgruntled makes up a position on Dutch. Let's turn this off actually. Let's look at the position changes here, and afterwards we'll look at the tires. So we have Gortsauce up 1, leading from base, and Echo Alex. So Echo Alex will be all over base here with the 2 compound tire advantage, at least in the first couple laps. So he will be trying to make the most of their tires. So we should really look at this battle, as it's most likely that there will be some sort of overtake happening here. Gortsauce stretching their legs, and as we said it, Echo Alex already sending it down the inside of turn 1. Very clean move, and base really has nothing to say about that one. Just the grip advantage. Yeah, not much you can do. 1 lap old softs will definitely be the prime tire here at the moment. Villeneuve making up a lot of positions. Up 5, as well as Disgruntled Muppet up 8 positions from his disqualification and qualifying, which probably wasn't deserved. So very nice to see that they were able to make up so much. Also starting on the soft tire. We have to call me Dr. J, who's already in the pits and down 6 positions. So there must have been some contact there as well. Difficult to keep track of all that. Yeah. Certainly something went down on lap 1. Nothing too disastrous. Certainly didn't require any safety cars. So curious to see in the replay later what that was. At the front, Gortsauce is actually able to put a pretty big gap in between himself and Echo, but obviously the tire advantage to the mediums is also quite significant. So I would expect Echo to be able to catch up to Gord, and possibly, you know, Base is going to try to hang on to these guys so that they don't drive away from him. Hoop also on the softs. Let's look at those tires actually. Oops. Wow. Okay, I did not expect this many people on the softs. I must not know something that these guys know. Well, base, Dutch, Salatosa, Diaz Maestro, and they call me Dr. J, who may have been on a different compound before. The only ones on the hards. Admittedly, that would have been my starting tire of choice. Many people on the soft, so I'm wondering how that's gonna play out. My guess is that people are expecting an early safety car. Just as a reminder, this race has a special rule where all 3 tire compounds have to be used. Hoop really hanging on here with Base, trying to get that move in. Gortsauce at the front is starting to be reeled in by Echo Alex, as we have a pretty tight battle here between Northern Canucks, Spot Up, and Villeneuve, who are all within 2/10 of each other. Let's see what these guys can do on the straight. Going for the outside. Villeneuve's case. This is going to be very interesting through this corner, as Spot Up does break early and then, I guess, anticipate. Oh, and Villeneuve unfortunately gets caught on the turn 2 curb. That can easily happen. Stays very nicely out of the way. Well done. That's a safe rejoin. Picture book. Well done. And the 2 McLarens going head to head here at the back of the field. Matus decides to back out, and Salatosa just does not make the corner. So the inter-team battle, for now, decided in favor of Matus. And all of this made me miss Echo get past Gortsauce. Apologies for that. These guys are extremely close to each other. Let's follow this battle for a bit. And GK Base, honestly not too far away considering the hard tires. He's not out of this game yet. He may be out of the DRS, but 2 seconds is really not that much, and the tire difference will kick in pretty soon, especially regarding the soft tires. Doing my best not to comment on anything such as ERS levels. And we have Spot Up in the pits. I'm wondering if they have some damage. Gonna check. Oh, is Hoop going for the move on base? No, not quite. And is there a wing change here? No, it's just an early pit stop. So Spot Up first in the box to switch from the softs to the hards. So already interesting strategy decisions here. And Villeneuve is doing something similar, however opting for the mediums for this part of the stint. So we have the first strat calls here already as the McLarens are still fighting each other. Very interesting team battle going on here. Inter-team battle. The field has spread out quite a bit already. A gap somewhere between 1.5 to 3 seconds. As we have a possible overtake attempt here. Gortsas just got past Echo Alex again. Lap 5, these soft tires will not last that much longer. It really depends on the setup and on the driving style. Obviously, certain drivers are capable of preserving their tires a lot better than others, so it'll be interesting to see what Echo can do here. Wow, the closing speed. It doesn't. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I would presume that there's a very low wing setup on Echo Alex here, considering the cornering speed and the closing speed on Gortsas with the DRS. This little shenanigans has cost them quite a bit, as GK Bass just made up 7/10 on them in the first sector alone. And we do have a bit of a kerfuffle here in the back. Looks like a potential collision between Matus, Salatasser, and Villeneuve. Not quite sure, as we missed out on that. Hoop thinking about a move on GK, but just a bit too far off. Ooh, and Baba Yaga retired from the race, and that is a safety car. Wondering what oh, must have lost it out of, yep. This acceleration zone is really difficult. So I've definitely done this once or twice myself. It's extremely easy to lose the car there, and then you just career into the wall. Sorry to see you go so early, Baba Yaga. You will be missed, and you've caused a safety car, and this will be basically a cheap pit stop for everyone. Hoping for those guys who started on the softs and are already pitted that this won't cost them too much. If you went onto the mediums, I guess you could try to stretch the hards all the way to the end. There was enough laps in between, so I believe pitting should be legal. And we should really look at the pit lane here, as that will be interesting. So Echo Gortsas will retain the lead by the looks of it. GK Base opting to go on the softs now. Interesting. Very cool to see the different approaches to this kind of race, where all 3 tire compounds have to be used. Obviously, it's really difficult to say what's going to happen in terms of safety cars. So even if you have a solid plan in your head regarding which tire is fastest at which stage of the race, that can easily be thrown out by the timing of the safety cars. So it's good to remain adaptive and flexible. Pick the right tire for the right situation. Apologies, I have to take care of my little nose here. I see there's already some chatter going on in the Discord chat. Lucky timing for the softs claimed by some. I will not comment until the end of the race. Now, let's check out the position changes after the safety car. So we have the top three still in the top three. Base technically losing 2 positions. That was mainly down to the tire compound choices. Hoop remains in 4th. Very nice job. We have Pax up 2 positions in 5th. We have Alan J remaining in 6th. Spot up a position up 1. Northern Canuck losing out a little bit. Down from 5th to 8th, I believe. I missed whether he pitted before the safety car, so that may have been it. Demur retains his 9th. Disgruntled Muppet, the biggest gainer, 8 positions up from his disqualified quality position, so they'll be happy to at least have made that up quickly. So that must have been a tremendous start. Vinny Sips, our host, in 11th. We have Dutch in 12th, Villeneuve in 13th, both up 1 position. It seems to me that absolutely everyone has pitted. Matus is in 14th, currently up 3 positions from their starting point. And DRS Maestro, they call me Dr. J, in 15th and 16th, down some places. I believe there were incidents in the beginning of the race, so they call me Dr. J is probably happy with the safety car being able to catch up, as they were roughly 30 seconds behind. We have Salad Tosser, who must have just pitted as they're a bit further behind, in 17th. Well, safety car should come in this lap, as just everyone's caught up now. So hopefully we don't have to waste another lap behind it. As Salad Tosser goes a bit off-road there. Careful, careful, as track limits warning can definitely be farmed under the safety car as well, unfortunately. Sorry about that, I was just sorting out some potential technical difficulties, but turns out everything's cool. Oh, so for the top 3, the cards have flipped. We will now have a very fast, very pacey base on the softs. Gord has gone from the mediums to the hards, and Echo Alex has gone from the softs to the mediums. So we will have another stint for Echo Alex on the hards, a soft stint for Gord, and a medium stint for base afterwards. Hoop, I believe, started on the mediums, now on the hards. Good call, in my opinion. That would put me at ease. Can stay out on the hards if another safety car comes out really quickly, and have a really quick tire for the end of the race, as I just missed the safety car come in. I did not see the message. Apologies for that. No changes at the front so far. Let's see what's going on around here. Everyone quite spread out, actually. We have Pax pretty close to Hoop. Other than that, it looks like everyone may have been a bit surprised by this restart. Not exactly sure when the safety car came in. Yeah, I must have missed the message. Apologies. We have Dr. J going past Matus in the back, and we have, ooh, a big squeeze by Alan on the Ferrari of Pax. Very aggressive, but maybe just on the line, as there was enough space on the track, and gets passed into 5th. Elbows out racing, but just on the edge of fair. Top 3 glued to each other right now. Wondering if Base is going to try a cheeky move down the inside here. Sometimes the The grip advantage on the softs really allows to do that. Ah, yeah, a bit of a scruffy exit here for base, so that will have prevented a move down the straight. So the top three stays in the same order as they started. Curious to see how this will develop over this lap, especially as these soft tires will go quite quickly. Lord Pax will look into an overtake right here. DRS will not be enabled yet. It should be on the next lap. As we have base extremely close to Echo Alex going for the move. And making it so. Yeah, clean down the inside. And we've just missed a move by Villeneuve on Dutch. Apologies for that. It looked like that was done at the exact same corner. So just overspeed down the straight and then throw it into the chicane. And it seems to have been done in a good way. Demur right behind Spada. Be an interesting battle to watch as well. Two McLarens struggling a bit today. I see Matus just went in for another pit stop. Wonder if they had some damage. 43 seconds behind. Their teammate Salatosser in 16th, who's also a bit further behind the field. This is going to make for some engaging racing here. The top three all seem to be matched on pace. The tire compounds surely do make a difference at this stage. And as we have Northern Canuck also extremely close to Demur, actually just lost quite a bit on that corner there. Just went from 2/10 to roughly 8th. Now we have GK Base lining up the move on Gortsauce, making the most of those soft compound tires. Very curious whether they can actually pull away now, as Gortsauce seemingly trying to fight it. No, decides otherwise. Let's hide all this junk for a second and just enjoy this 3-car battle for the end of the lap, until the end of the lap. Echo going a bit wide there at the apex. See if any of these guys can do a move. A little bit squirrely at the exit for base, but doesn't seem to be in trouble for it. Gortsauce just on those hards, doesn't quite have the grip to send it. We still have the battle here between Allen and Pax. Allen overtaking Pax just on the lap just right after the safety car phase. As we have DRS Maestro and Vinny, it looks like Vinny Sips may have had a spin, or there may have been a contact with DRS Maestro. There was definitely a yellow flag. And we have Salatosser and Matus keep on struggling on this track. And we have Pax extremely close to Allen, but just not quite enough. And we have another yellow out of the chicane between Dr. J and Vinny. Lots of things going on, difficult to keep track of. We still have Spot and Demur right behind these two, actually catching up, benefiting from this fight. Spot as much as might even have picked up DRS here. See if Pax has enough to make a move. Decides to bide their time. Interesting. So, at this point, I would expect there to be a tire advantage for Echo and Gord over the softs of base. Gord fallen a bit behind on this lap, but nothing to worry about yet. I can't. I was tracking these guys, and then obviously I missed the overtake. I'm sorry. So Pax and Alan have switched positions, both on the hard tire, and Demur and Spot as well. I really need to do more comms, guys. Now with this extremely long straight, of course, we have the move from Gord, Echo on GK base. That much was to be expected. The softs, after I believe this is lap 4 or 5, after the safety car will have run past their prime. They're not absolutely shot yet, but the medium most certainly is the better race tire at this point. Let's see what Gord can do on these hards on this straight. Okay. Alan and Pax will most likely stay. No, there is a late move. Very similar to the move. Oh, they actually go into the corner side by side, and that awards Pax with a 3-second time penalty on that curb. I'm honestly not surprised. Very easy to pick that up over there. Also have a battle here between the two old boys of the league. Northern Canuck, Disgruntled Muppet have been around here for a very long time. And they find each other within half a second. So that will be an interesting battle to see as well. Both on the hard tire at the moment. And we also have Dutch hunting down DRS Maestro in the second half of the field. Top 3 has separated itself a bit from the field now. 3.5 seconds to P4. Towing each other along. As GK Base gets past Echo Alex through... Echo must have made some sort of mistake, lacking straight line speed in this lap, so I'm presumed that there was that they almost lost it, had to correct, and that awarded Base and Gortsauce the positions. And can Disgruntled make it past Northern Canuck? Not quite. And there is there a collision? Not quite sure what happened there. I believe it was the back marker of Matus or Salad Tosser. Really not jiving with this track. Not their day. Sorry to see that, guys. Just saw something that can easily happen sometimes if you hadn't had the time to prepare. I know it all too well. So we have the same battles on track as Echo Alex will just attempt to get past both Gortsauce and Base. It wasn't quite enough for Base. Good attempt. These guys are very evenly matched. And even though they're fighting, they're not exactly losing time to P4. Very impressive. Seem to be quite dialed in. As we have another problem for the McLaren on track in the back, causing a bit of a yellow. As Echo Alex goes for the moves on GK base. I would expect a pit stop within these three pretty soon. Really cool to see these battles that last a bit longer. These guys, like Alan and Pax, have been following each other for multiple laps, trying to fight it out in a clean way. We have Spot Up and Demur, who have been fighting ever since the safety car. Obviously, we have the top three swapping positions. And then the rest of the field is can be a bit lonely. Disgruntled got past Northern Canuck. Sorry that we've missed that. And then we also have the fight between DRS Maestro and Dutch that's been going on for a while. Curious to see if Northern can make a pass here as Villeneuve decides to go for the next pit stop. Initiating the third phase of the race. Northern Canuck is nice and close, gets the better exit by the looks of it. They should be able to make the move here on Disgruntled. Easy flyby. These guys may even be working together a little bit to improve their pace. We have a Spot Up still behind Demur, and it looks like Pax is keeping in touch with Alan, but hasn't made an overtake attempt in a little while. And the top three stayed the same as well. Curious to see if either of these guys will pit now, as Base may have had a bit of trouble exiting the corner there, as I say it, Base opting to pit now, which will basically act as an undercut on the other two. So it'll be interesting to see where they come out, and as other people start pitting now too. Hoop, and the battle between Disgruntled and Northern is still on. Demur and Spot Up are now separated as Spot Up went into the pits, so that battle may be decided in the pits. That would be easy. Interesting to see as well, as Demur unfortunately picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that will most certainly help his rival on track today. Let's opt to Spot Up now to stay clean. McLaren staying nicely out of the way here. Well, almost. But that was fine, the car was ghosted. So Echo Alex and Gourd Sauce, I would not be surprised if these guys will head into the pits now, just to prevent a larger undercut by Base, who has pretty clear air. Tough to keep track now, as some people have stayed out. I believe Vinny has not pitted yet. And we have Echo Alex going into the pits and Gourd Sauce staying out. Let's turn on the tires now so we can keep a better overview. So we have Hoop and Spot who've pitted. GK Base. Ooh. What was that? Oh, and Doomer gets another penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is so unfortunate. That'll be music to Spot Up's ears. And wow. This will be extremely close, but Echo Alex comes out of the pits just behind base. So the undercut by base was worth roughly 1.5, 2 seconds. Okay, bit of trouble there staying out of the way for the back markers, but I get it. It's quite hectic on track right now. Hoop and Dutch. Hoop just got past. Dutch may have had a bit of trouble on the exit there. And Disgruntled and Northern keep fighting. This will go to the end of the race, I'm sure. It depends on which one of these guys pulls the trigger first on their last pit stop. We have 2.4 seconds between base and Echo. And Gortsauce coming into the pits now. I see how it might be beneficial to listen to the stream for these kind of situations. I almost never do, as I find it distracting. But we're gonna stay on board with base here, who is being held up a tiny bit by Disgruntled and Northern, just because they're also on older tires. Be interesting to see where he comes out. Base is already passed, but Gortsauce manages to stay ahead of Echo Alex, which is a huge deal. Echo Alex obviously on the hard tires, so it's all up to Gortsauce now to make use of these softs and catch back up to GK Base. Unfortunately, he has the two hard runners of Northern Canuck and Disgruntled in between the two, so they will be a bit of a roadblock here. Gortsauce will try to get past, but obviously cannot just shove them out of the way. Fair is fair. He should be able to get past Northern on the straight. And then past Disgruntled on the next one. So it might not actually be that bad. The first few laps on these softs will be absolutely crucial now. So we also have an inter-team battle here between Spot Up and Dutch. Dutch getting a bit squiggly on the exit, picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that also means that Spot Up gets past. Spot Up making up a lot of positions. Really nice driving. He was battling with Demur a lot previously. Demur finds himself in 10th with a bunch of penalties. Very nicely done by Spot Up, basically securing 7th here and depending excuse me, depending on their pace, he should be able to make it up even higher than that. Okay, so Disgruntled is pulling the trigger, Northern Canuck staying out and being overtaken by Hoop. Aston Martin actually doing really well here this race. They're going to pick up a lot of points if it stays this way. As Gortsauce is just about inching into the DRS of base. It'll also be in their interest to... Obviously, Gortsauce wants to get the lead here. They do have a very quick Echo Alex on the hards. Just about 2.3 seconds behind. So too much fighting between these two will allow Echo Alex back in. And once the hard tire kicks in and the softer compounds degrade, they just don't want to open the barn door, if you know what I mean. Alan J very close to Demur, but this is past the straight. So field's getting a bit more spread out. Gortsauce extremely close to base now. And that will be the battle to watch, as well as Demur and Alan J, who are very close to each other. Quite aggressive exit, should be able to overtake base now. And sets the fastest lap. Be curious to see if Gort can keep up this pace. Shout out to Hoop. Tremendous job today. Has kept it in 4th all this time. Hoop, obviously also a tier 1 driver. But there is a bit of a pace difference between the top 3 and him, and he's only a second away. Really, really, really good job. I'm very impressed with Hoop. Maybe my driver of the day so far. See how it goes. As well as Spot. Amazing, amazing performance. Up in 5th now. Be curious to see what the... Yeah, exactly. Up 3 positions. So I'm guessing Spot will try his best to make it up here back to 4th in reach Hoop. It's a bit of a task with 5 laps left, but it's not impossible. I'm curious to see whether these guys will fight it out at the end. We also have Alan J, apologies, extremely close to Pax. Those guys have been going at it all race long. Happy to see that it hasn't ended in any sort of contact yet. I know there was one overtake that was maybe a tad over the line, but I'm sure they will have forgotten about it by the end of the race. Salatos are picking up another penalty. The 2 McLarens. Maybe there's some mechanical issues with the McLarens today. Not on the pace. Just kind of in their own race, as Alan J does attempt to overtake around the outside. Just way more speed than Pax. And seals it shut. See if they can, if Pax can return the favor on the long side. Oh, and Alan J cuts the curb and gets a 3-second time penalty. Now, obviously, we have to look into the penalties real quick. So he's still alright. He's still alright because his main rival for this race actually has more, has 6 seconds in penalties. So this may not be of too much consequence to him unless we have another safety car. Gordsauce and Base still fighting it out, extremely close to each other, and they're actually pulling away from Echo Alex. So the hard tire has not matched the pace of the softer compounds yet, and there's only 4 to 5 laps left. So this will be a bit of a tough task now for Echo Alex to reach these guys without any sort of incidents. A bit of a lonely race for some people, as it tends to happen. They call me Dr. J. Solid pace. Unfortunately, a bit on their own. Being followed by Vinny Sips now, so maybe these guys can have some fun before the end of the race. Salatosa and Matus, just not their day. But I'm glad to see they're still here. There's no early retiring. There's no saving of the engine going on here. I'm very happy to see that. Just keep putting in the laps. Gourd Sauce back to the front here, first and second. This will most likely be the fight for P1. Gourd Sauce doing their best to cut any sort of advantage they can give the car behind. Going to the left on the straight to avoid too much drafting. Solid race between the man from Quebec and the man from Norway. As we have a very tight fight here. Pax going on the inside on the long right-hander in Sector 3. That's a very impressive overtake. Pax will have the tire advantage at this point, as these softs will be struggling. And, there's still 2-3 laps left, so it's not entirely impossible to pull out that 3-second gap and retain 6th position for Pax. That's definitely possible. He's forcing Alan around the outside, smart move. But Alan does make the move, wow. Good, very, very good close racing between these two, and it's not over yet. Alan backing out sensibly to avoid any sort of collision, and this actually inviting in Demur. Also has a lot of penalties, but it's inviting him into this fight. And let's see. GK Base still behind Gord Sauce. Biding his time. May just be aiming for the last lap. We shall see. As Vinny Sips has caught up with Dr. J. And Disgruntled just getting past Villeneuve. Will Villeneuve try to test their brakes? No. Now Disgruntled on the softer medium compared to the hards gets through the chicane a lot better, I must say. So we have the Alfa Romeos now in 10th and 11th. Right smack in the middle. Northern Canuck may be a bit disappointed with his race. Qualified extremely well in 5th or 6th. Finds himself down on 11 now. Of course, there's a lot of people ahead who have some significant time penalties, but there's also a significant gap. Wonder if just maybe I do believe there may have been an issue with the pit stops there and the safety car where some people just lost out and were unlucky. Vinny Sips following Dr. J will definitely try to go for that 14th, as it's becoming very tight between GK Base and Gord Sauce. Villeneuve unfortunately picking up a 3-second time penalty. So far he may just about be safe from Dutch. Let's stay on board with Vinny Sips here, who will be trying to put a move on Dr. J. Dr. J get a lot better exit. Vinny Sips losing roughly 3/10. Look at that closing speed though, it might not be quite enough, and Dr. J placing his car extremely well. Vinny trying it around the outside, but that's actually going to cost a lot of time. Very good car placement there from Dr. J to secure P14 for now. It is the last lap, so I'm going to switch to the top two this will be all or nothing. GK Base prepared well for this. Is right behind his rival. So it's all about the exit. It's all about the exit here now. And this will be full beans. GK Base has the power. Has the power. Sails past Gord Sauce. The medium tires probably a bit superior at this point. Keep it clean on the exit. As Alan gets past Pax, but I will stay on with the battle for the lead. This is the last lap of the race and this is for the win. So we're going to focus on these two. GK Base still leading into Sector 3. Gord Sauce doing... Oh, that was so unfortunate. Well, Gord Sauce took the apex quite a bit better, but then I guess there was a grip lacking at the exit of the turn and it just got a little bit stuck on the curb, just putting him just about outside. Very unfortunate. We'll be second on track and we'll be second in the classification. Congratulations to GK Base, our winner for the day and around France here. This may be second or third win for Base in this tier. He is a reserve driver, but that doesn't matter. Congratulations to GK Base. Congratulations to Gord Sauce. Very good race. Very good strat from both of these guys. And Echo Alex putting in a solid effort, very, very good pace, but the strategy of his two rivals today was just a little bit better, as they ended up on the softer compounds in the last part of the race, which basically decided the outcome for Echo Alex. Who, as I said before, really, really, really nice performance. I cannot decide whether it's Hoop or Spot Up for me today. I may be leaning towards Spot Up, as Spot Up made up a bit more positions. However, really, really good pace from these two good strategy calls. And considering Spot Up was in a really tight battle with another driver for a majority of the race, this is my driver of the day. Curious who the game will decide to be the driver of the day. Disgruntled Muppet. Fair. Fair choice. Also made up a lot of positions, of course, because of the disqualification in qualifying. Really nice race to commentate on. Very clean. Very clean. I really like that. Apart from a couple of small contacts, and I believe there was a bit of an incident on lap 1, as there is so often, but no crazy moves, no dive bombs, etc. So yeah, very well done. Yeah, I'm reading in the Discord for Lord Pax. I agree. Extremely good battle between the two of you. Between Alan and Lord Pax. That was amazing to watch. We followed you guys a lot. So we have GK Base in first, Gort Sauce in second, Echo Alex in third, Hoop in fourth, Spot Up in fifth, Alan J in sixth, Pax in seventh, Disgruntled in eighth, Demur in ninth, and Canuck in 10th. And apologies for the rest. I just really have to go through the race director, as that can be quite important for any sort of incident reports. Congratulations, everyone. Great race to commentate on, great race to watch. And I hope anyone who followed the broadcast enjoyed the commentary. If you're interested in joining this league, we are a performance racing league, a global league that races every Wednesday and every Sunday. We have this mixed midweek tier here on Wednesdays, and then 2 divisions racing on Sundays. Shoot us a message here on Twitch or find our YouTube channel, and you'll get a Discord invite if you would like to join the fray. Thank you so much for joining, and have a nice time wherever you are.